public hearing to order for additional appropriations. This time, Dr. Balmer, do you want to go over the additional appropriations, please?
Sure, yes. This is very common this time of year for school districts to file for additional appropriations with the DLGF, the Department of Local Government Finance. Again, especially for a growing district such as ourselves, we make budgets about 18 months out. So at the end of the budget cycle, if you need additional appropriations and your revenue supports us, supports that, which ours does, you'll file for an additional appropriation for that spending with the DLGF. We did meet the publish the hearing and our notice on our additional appropriations in the News and Tribune as required by the DLGF. And at this time, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, at this time, do we have any input on the additional appropriations? Hearing none, the hearing has been closed. And at this time, we'll start our regular scheduled board meeting, and we'll call this meeting to order at 6:31. If you could please rise. Ms. Franklin's going to lead us in the pledge, followed by the invocation by Dr. Balmer.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just give you thanks once again. We thank you for tonight and that we can gather and make some very important decisions for our school district. We just give you thanks again for our students, for our staff who are so committed to our students each and every day. As we approach this holiday season, God, we just ask you to put a special blessing on all our families, to watch over them, keep them safe, especially as school will be out for a couple weeks. We just ask if people are traveling, you'll just watch over them. Again, continue to bless our district and give us the insight we need to make the best decisions possible for our stakeholders. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Roll call. Ms. Franklin?
Present.
Mr. Basham?
Here.
Ms. Bright?
Here.
Mr. Groen?
Present.
And I am also present. We have quorum. Dr. Briggs, any emergency additions or revisions to the agenda?
Yes. Good evening. I do have 3 recommendations for revisions to the agenda. The first 2 will fall under consent agenda number 8, under letter C, donations. I would request to add Roman numeral numbers 13 and 14. Number 13 would read Angie Ewell, Silver Creek Middle School Christmas Program, donation of $100. And Roman numeral 14 would read Stephen and Linda King, Silver Creek Elementary School Christmas Fund, donation of $100. And the third recommendation is to move an item off of the discussion action items. So on number 9, under letter B, action items, under number 4, second reading and approval of the following policies, I would request to move number 1 there, policy 0167.3, public participation at board meetings. I would request to make that Roman numeral number 6, the last agenda item of the evening. And that is it for additions and revisions.
We also have the board meeting.
I'm sorry, yep. And also on number 11, the next meeting dates, January 10th, 2023, the regular reorganization board meeting. I request that we move that to Silver Creek Elementary School. Thank you. That's it. Thanks.
All right, you've heard the emergency additions and revisions to the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Mr. Grohl makes a motion. Do we have a second?
A second. Oh.
Ms. Bright seconds. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next on the agenda, number 3, we have the approval of minutes from November 15th of 2022, our regular scheduled board meeting. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any discussion on the minutes that were in the board packet? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. At this time, we have recognition presentations. First, we have the Wellness Committee.
Yes, Food Service Director Josh Sinclair is here this evening to give the board an update on our wellness policy and the Wellness Committee. You'll notice on tonight's agenda under first reading is our wellness policy. It needed to be revised and updated, and Mr. Sinclair and his committee has done a great job of bringing tonight's first draft to you. So I'll turn it over to Josh.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. With us being a new corporation, we went ahead and kind of revamped the wellness committee and got some new members in there, became more compliant with the diversity that we were required to have. It allows us for parents, students, and representatives of the school food authority, teachers of physical education, school health professionals, the school board, school administrators, and the general public to participate in the development, implementation, and the evaluation of the wellness policy. Through that, we've got a director of food service, myself, a director of health services, the nurse. We've got a school board member, a superintendent, the CFO, principals, PE teachers, parents / health coach, and another parent. So we have a very diverse committee. It's really helped develop the policy as we've gone through it. We do an annual review. The Wellness Committee will annually inform and update parents, students, staff, and in the community about the content and implementation of the local wellness policy, including the assessment of the policy, and provide a way for additional stakeholders to be able to participate if they like. We came up with 3 goals to get started with. Nutrition education, we want to provide nutrition content of menu items such as calories, carbohydrates, total fat, sodium, etc. Have that available on the SCSC website under the food nutrition. That allows students and parents and the associates to choose healthier options based on nutrition content. And so they'd be able to find that at easier places, such as we were thinking about even having it at the point of sale, but mainly on the website, so that way they could look and be able to choose healthier items for each day that we have our menus. Our second goal was to promote classroom activities that discourage rewarding students with candy and other foods that can undermine the children's diet and health. A wide variety of alternative rewards can be used to provide positive reinforcement for the children's behavior and academic performance, such as birthday crowns or sashes, sticker parties, sit with a friend, make office deliveries for the day. These are just a few examples instead of rewarding with cupcakes or cookies or something like that. Physical activity, we were thinking that we could add other activities to the day, such as after-school clubs for non-athletic students, maybe biking or dancing, hiking, or a school garden, something to give them, other than football or basketball or baseball, some other activities they might want to participate in. In conclusion, we do assess the wellness policy every 3 years. The assessment will determine to what extent the local educational agency is compliance with the district policy, to the extent to which the local wellness policy compares to the model IDOE school wellness policy, and then the progress made in attaining the goals of the local wellness policy. And that'll be done every 3 years, and then we meet at least once every year to discuss how we're doing. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Sinclair?
I don't have any. Is this on? I don't have any questions, but I was just, and maybe you mentioned this, I don't know, but the committee also had the director of health. But it was a pleasure serving on the committee.
Yes, yes, she was
Yeah.
mentioned as well.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
At this time, we have the class of 1965, Miss Mattingly, and I think she has a couple of guests with her.
Now, I've passed out a folder, as you see, with the dragon on it. I have a few things to cover. I'm old, I had to put my glasses on. Yes. I want to talk about the power of the dragon. Okay. I'm dedicating the sign from last month and this sign behind me to my grandpa. And if you look on the front of it, this sign, there's the 2022 Silver Creek mascot, and in the middle is the 1925 crest. And this is our way of saying the young people of today can coordinate with these rules of the past. And you have a paper in your folder that shows the Dragon Code of Conduct and the dedication. Theodore Roosevelt organized a volunteer cavalry during the war, and he resigned his position as Assistant Secretary of Navy to lead an elite group to fight in Cuba. This was the first volunteer cavalry in the United States in World War I. Roosevelt organized 4 units to fight in France. Teddy Roosevelt himself, from history, had been a soldier, a governor of New York, vice president, and later our 26th president of the United States. My grandpa is pictured here, Tully Daly, or Ted Daly. He was a corporal during this war. He was in the Rough Riders. At 22 years of age, he's from Mockport, Indiana, right below Squaw Boone Caverns, and he volunteered to help the Allied forces in Europe. And his brother was left there to carry on the sawmill business. And I have listed on there, he was a man of inspiration and grit. You have John Wayne, the movie True Grit. Grit means a person of strong character. I feel like my grandpa was of strong character, and back in those days, they filmed you with your whole uniform on and not just from the waist up. If you turn the page, this is all these people are deceased. It's my grandpa, my grandma, my uncle. Right after this was photographed, he went off to the war to fight against Hitler's troops. My aunt and my mom and my dad, they had a 150-acre farm. On the last page is a tombstone. It's my grandpa's tombstone. My grandpa was just about like Silver Creek here. All of these rules have been thrown to the wayside for the past 40 or 45 years, and nobody really cared about them till my group did, okay? We're bringing this back to life, okay? Well, my grandpa, after he died, nobody put a military marker on his grave. You know who put it on there? My dad and me, okay? I wrote the Pentagon, sent him my dad's, or my grandpa's discharge papers, and I didn't think I'd hear from him. And one day, UPS knocks on my door and they said, here's a box for you. And I freaked out. It was the military marker. And so my dad working at a cement plant, and us knowing how to frame and pour cement, we set the marker on there, and you can still see the wood frame because we didn't pull it off. He was a forgotten soldier, just like this stuff has been forgotten for the high school here, okay? I'll make an analogy or parallel here. A forgotten soldier, remember. My grandpa said there's 4 things you need in order to have a happy life or fulfilled life. 1, love of God, family, and country. 2, a job that occupies both your mind and body. 3, an interest or hobby which helps one escape from work, and a diversion for fun. But the last one, he said, is the most important. Something to always look forward to be an inspiration and a zest to keep on living. He wasn't a religious fanatic, but his dad was what you call a minister that traveled on horseback from Croydon to Amsterdam to Laconia to Lisbon, all these country towns, preaching. I wish I had his Bible. I don't, that he carried in his saddlebag. But I do have our family Bible, dating back to 1875 at my house. The next one's on immigration. I had a lady that was going to come here with me tonight. She's a part of my extended family, Nadia Ponte. That's in your folder there, immigration. In our language barrier, we have a lot of problems in the schools today. Nadia Ponte, 71 years old, a born United States citizen, had relatives that were Puerto Rican and Spanish. She's part of my extended family. She taught school 9 years in New Jersey, 25 years in Louisville, Kentucky, and 3 years in the United States Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. She taught English as a second language and about the United States culture. Her great-granddad was governor of Puerto Rico when it was under Spanish rule. Her dad was a military man, and like her great-grandpa being a politician. Her dad was in the military for 34 years. He served in both the Korean War and World War II. Her background encompasses political, military, educational, and cultural domains. Her dad, in the year of 2014, was awarded the Gold Congressional Medal of Honor for his service. A movie was later made out of his group's military experience. Her educational contribution for her has been a lifetime journey. Her work has never wavered but been persistent in her endeavors. She was going to come with me tonight, but her grandchild got sick. A lot of this flu's going on around. I wish you could meet her. She's a lovely lady. The United States population now has 78.5% people speaking American language. 43 million of this country speaks the Spanish language. That is 50% that is now mostly bilingual, encompassing people from Cuba, Mexico, Spain, and Puerto Rico that speak the Spanish language. With 22% of our country speaking non-English, a fifth of it, teachers have a problem of communication at hand, and this can also handicap the educational process. When I was in high school, we had Latin teachers and Spanish, and that was it. Now they teach us Spanish and a lot of language. On the brochure, this is her dad, and if you flip the page on the back, I'm not good at speaking Spanish, but Bonaconeers was the name of the movie they made out of that. In that group, when they went into Korea, Northern Korea, during the Korean War, 4 battalions tried to take over a mountain range. All 4 of them failed. This group got it for the United States and helped us in the Korean War greatly. They got all kind of distinguished medals from 3 or 4 different countries, which is interesting. Next thing I want to talk about is the dedication of these 2 signs. So we made them both the same size, the same frame, color coordinated if you wanted to hang them side by side. If not, that's up to your discretion. Okay. Tully Deli, okay, my grandpa. It's who I'm dedicating these to. Even though he was what one might consider a simple, ordinary farmer, he exemplified the concept of what is important in one's life, God, home, and country. Such a man I knew also well. He was my grandpa. His wisdom and strength went unnoticed even when he died. For many years, his gravesite went unnoticed, as I told you about the military marker not being placed there. Even though the funeral company was to take care of that detail, it was neglected and not placed there. There is always someone in our life who touches us emotionally to inspire us and to cause us to do what we ourselves would think would be the impossible. One whose love guides us to awaken a drive and steer a pathway to success. When I was a child, he attached a rope to the dinner bell in his backyard so I could reach it and ring it. He would hitch up a team of horses to a wagon and ride me around the farm, show me the hogs, cattle, chicken house, orchard, and barns. He would teach me how the farmers would plant their crops according to the signs of the moon, tides, and wind direction. He was a self-sufficient farmer, and like so many at that time, during the Depression, he only went to town to purchase coffee, flour, salt, and spices. Everything else they grew, fruits and vegetables. The meat they ate by slaughtering their own hogs, cows, and chickens. One time, I recall, one of his fields had caught on fire. He had me ring his dinner bell constantly till my dad and uncle came running. He told them to hurry, jump on the tractors, and plow around the outer perimeter of the fire. They did that, and the fire was contained. Otherwise, that fire would have destroyed their 2-story farmhouse, 4 barns, 1 chicken house, 3 grain silos, and other fields of necessary crops for survival. He was always calm, smart, and a smile on his face. He was the hardest working man I ever knew, a farmer and a mechanic who repaired his own implements. I dedicate these 2 signs in his honor, for he was always a man who had the courage to follow his dreams and to conquer his fears. This is to my dedication of him. Unity in schools. This is really important today. These young kids that go to school, they don't realize how lucky they got it. They don't have to be like the farmers and do all this hard physical work. And Joe Basham can tell you, unless you work in a factory in some of these places, you don't realize how easy American people have it in today's world. We went from a farming community to a factory community with a cement plant and an ammunition plant, and now we're in this modern day technological society, and things are changing so fast. It's an honor and a privilege to talk to you guys, and it's an honor to help this school, and we feel like we're really helping you by doing this. Unity, okay. Why did our group take on this project, okay? First, we wanted to give students a set of core values. Second, we wanted to preserve a neglected, rich history of our local school based on a tradition from these three types of community I just mentioned. We must know history to be able to change the mistakes of history. This helps all of us to improve and learn from them. Third, we wanted to let students know that life in general has many sets of rules which they must abide by. Rules on the job, rules on the open highway, rules of law and order. Some are simple, some complicated. In today's society, radical groups try to twist the truth and make it seem like reality. And by their propaganda, they know that young minds are fragile and easily swayed. Fourth, rules should unite us, not divide us, I believe. All the United States populace should work together to make progress in many of our dire issues, which undoubtedly affect us all, such as climate change, experimentation in fields of energy, exploration into outer space. Fifth, we wanted to help our brave teachers, our principals, the school board, who are burdened down and confronted with student discipline problems, and plus more. Sixth, we wanted to let our students know that school rules are a precursor to adult rules of our democratic society. Many rules can mean the matter of life and death, such as rules in the factory, mining rules, highway rules, laboratory. Seventh, we wanted to let our students know we as adults care about their well-being. These are the reasons we're doing this. When you get into a factory, you better go by the rules. Joe Basham, I don't know if he remembers it, two of my dad's friends was killed right over here in his factory. And Kay can tell you. Tell him.
My father-in-law.
He fell several hundred feet. One of my dad's best friends was run over off her house by a tandem truck. The students need to learn these rules in high school because the rules are going to get tougher as they go by, okay? Many adults perceive our schools today as institutions of babysitting. These critical adults need to give our educational systems more support instead of criticizing them. Mike Pence, who was a radio announcer, governor of Indiana, and later vice president under President John Trump, they called him Donald J., made this statement which shows just how important it is for all of us to treat each other with respect and civility on a day-to-day basis. He said, Republicans and Democrats and independents alike would get more accomplished in Washington and Congress if they treated each other with civility, which would lead to more bipartisan legislative accomplishment. The civility issue of what our signs are about even enters into the international domain of affairs, and NATO, CETO, G-Summit meetings, and could go on. Civility issues create problems for all of us at local, state, national, and international levels. All of us need to work harder to try to resolve this. It should be an easy problem to resolve, but many do not want to agree on the issues, but should at least do it in a civil manner. It all starts in our schools, public and private alike. Why is educational essential to lifestyle and world survival? Today in the United States, believe it or not, we have 130 million people that can't read and write. They read at a 6th grade level, their mathematics at a 3rd grade level. The strength of our nation today lies or abides in the education of our citizens. If we neglect our educational systems and not give our schools the adequate support we need, it gives our adversaries in foreign nations the ability to defeat us in military defense, on the world economic market, communications networking, and necessary diverse energy levels. It all starts with the educational process in our communities, in our schools. In our schools, we as educators, I'm a a retard educator, to some extent that has power and control over our students, but we have the progress needed for them to succeed in life. One element must exist. That one element is crucial. It is unity. Unity has all of us, teachers, principals, school board members, and parents alike working toward one common goal. Our past president of the United States, Barack Obama, put it simply: if we don't learn to live together on this planet, we will destroy one another. There's several problems. I was going to go into detail on them, but I'm just going to hit on them a few. The first one was on critical race theory and racial injustice. That high schools oughtn't to be burdened with this problem. Leave it to the colleges, okay? Number two, the pregnancy of female students while they are in school. In the Louisville area, they have schools for pregnant women. Hairstyles, the Crown Act that was solved. Busing is getting to be a little more unusual. Violence in the schools, drug testing, schools for disruptive and incorrigible students, mental health
Miss Mattingly,
problems.
Miss Mattingly, if I could just interject something.
Okay.
If you could stay on topic of what you're presenting.
Okay,
Now,
I'm getting ready to conclude on it right
Right,
now.
and I guess we don't want to go down the path of what you believe to be wrong.
Well, that's
I
right.
think that's important,
right.
and you're entitled to that opinion. But if you could just stay on.
Those
on
are
point.
just some of the problems, and we
Thank you.
realize you guys have a lot of these problems. The first sign, if you look in your folder, is the dragon crest we presented last month is on the historical significance to the school and community. This one today is on the moral, psychological, behavioral significance. We would like to do a third sign that would conclude our mission. If you wanted us to do it, it's up to you guys. It would be on the social, cultural significance. What it would be, instead of a vertical sign, it would be a horizontal sign with a dragon. He would have flames coming out of his mouth, and it would have the word strength, wisdom, and things like that. And it would be at the top of the power of the dragon, and it would be honoring our teachers, our students, the school board members, and the community as well. And that's all I have to say, except on the end there, when our senior class was denied our senior trip, and when the school has their dedication, we would like, if you would, to let our class have a tour through the high school, a private tour, and let us know in advance the date and time, because we would like to coordinate it with our 60-year class reunion, so people from out of town could take both of these events in at the same time. And that's all I have to say.
Ms. Mattingly, thank you
Okay.
for the donation, and we accept that donation on behalf of the class. The one thing I want to personally tell you is that I know that in this world, there's a lot of things that, may be wrong or whatnot. But
Yeah.
I can tell you, we got a lot of good teachers. We got a lot of good kids. We got a lot of good coaches. We got a lot of ECA leaders. We may have some dilapidated facilities, but we got the best daggone kids
There's
you
one
can ever
thing
think
I
of.
forgot to bring up, and this is important. It was on the news. If you go in on Facebook, out of all the suburbs in the United States, out of 500 suburbs, Sellersburg suburban school system ranks number 19 out of 475 on the latest polls based on people's median income, the schools and school institutions, crime, and several things. So that goes to show, even though our schools are dilapidated, our teachers and the school board, you're doing a heck of a good job, or we wouldn't be ranking that high.
The only thing that's wrong with that is we're number one.
Thank you. That's what I was going to
What?
say. You're the surveys and the data out there is great to know, but as board president just stated, and I will echo that, we consider us to be number one. Yes, you're right with the staff and the school board, but you know what? We have a lot of great kids and a lot of great families that are partners with us. So while we appreciate your donation and we appreciate the other commentary, we think we got a good thing going here,
I think we
and
do
we're going to
too.
continuously get better.
I think you will, okay?
Hey, Ms. Malley,
And
I did
also
want to.
consider the third sign we'd like to donate, and if you would give us an answer in writing on these 2 or 3
Yep.
things I've brought
Perfect.
up.
Yep. Thank
Ms.
you.
Mattingly, I did want to. Ms. Mattingly, I did want to make note that the gentleman you spoke of, Mr. Arthur Hawes, that was my grandfather. He died at the age of 36. I never got to meet him.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
Thank you for speaking of him.
If I knew that, I wouldn't have brought it
No,
up.
it's a good thing. I'm glad his memory still lives.
He was one of my dad's best friends, a volunteer fireman, and
Yeah.
I knew him
I've
well.
heard a lot of great stories about him. So
Yeah,
thought
I
so.
knew
Thank
him
you.
well.
Thank you. Mr. Balmer, number 5, Curriculum and Student Services, filling in for Ms. Hawkins.
Yes, Ms. Hawkins could not be here tonight, so I am filling in on her spotlights and updates. So here we go. So she would like to start by spotlighting Miss Maggie Epke and Miss Maria Jenkins. These two worked really hard to plan a recent professional development for our kindergarten through second grade teachers. That afternoon, the internet went down, but that did not stop them. They made a quick modification and everything continued as planned. It was a wonderful professional development for approximately 40 teachers, and we are very appreciative of Maggie and Maria, their expertise, and their leadership. Ms. Hawkins also wants to celebrate a group of counselors and administrators that have been working hard to produce an application for the school counseling grant. They've met several times and will gather virtually one more time on Thursday to finish up the proposal. She appreciates the input from everyone and has enjoyed their time together, working through issues and developing a plan for success. Members of this group are Amy Compton, Lacey Niehaus, Jacqueline Good, Sandy Myers, Hannah Oliver, Abby Campbell, Jill Gerlach, Helly Little, and Dr. Briggs. She also wants to thank Courtney Pierce, an English teacher at Silver Creek High School, for being another set of eyes for the team. She has agreed to review the work with the rubric and provide additional feedback before it is submitted. It really does take a team when working on something like this, and she appreciates everyone's help. It's also a great time to recognize our grant specialist, Susan Westfall. Susan has been with us for about 1 year now. She is a very fast learner and has really set up our grants department for success. She is a pro at tracking information and has learned how to organize things for quick reference. She has learned how to document and track expenses in our financial management system. She's submitting reports weeks in advance, and this is due to her organization and diligence. Miss Hawkins appreciates Susan so much, and we all do, and want to recognize her for our efforts and hard work. And lastly, she would like to congratulate Miss Granger on her retirement. Miss Hawkins has only worked with Miss Granger for a few years, but feels like it's been much longer than that. Kelly is a true professional and always puts kids first. In addition to all her regular things she does as part of her role, she built the entire special education program here at Silver Creek after the split. She has learned a ton from Kelly, and over the years has come to value their time together. And Kelly, thanks for all the memories, and Miss Hawkins wishes you the very best. Some board updates. The last student day for the first semester is Friday, December 16th. We'd like to wish our staff, students, and families a safe and wonderful holidays with families and friends. January 4th is a half professional development day, half teacher work day for the Silver Creek School Corporation teachers. Professional development opportunities will be sent out to teachers tomorrow afternoon. The first student day of 2023 is Thursday, January 5th. The middle of the year assessment windows will open up for students when they return from winter break. M-Class, that is from January 5th to January 20th for grades K2. NWA, that's from January 9th to January 20th, grades 3 through 10. And WIDA will open up January 9th and run through February 24th, and that is for our EL learners. The next meeting of the Silver Creek High Ability Broad-Based Planning Committee will meet on Monday, January 9th at 6 p.m. at Silver Creek Elementary. The committee meets twice per year, January and April, and is composed of teachers, administrators, school personnel, parents, school board members, and community members. The purpose of this group is to discuss the current state of the High Ability Program and offer suggestions to grow the services to better meet the needs of the students. If any parents or community members are willing to help, please email Ms. Coffin. And that is all for Ms. Hawkins' spotlights and updates.
I guess we'll hold any questions. You may not know the answer to, but we'll let you jump right into to finance and operations.
All right, here we go. So operations finance, beginning with our monthly financial report, running through November. So our two major funds, we'll take a look at those, education operations. So our beginning balance in 2022 budget year was in education fund was $6,466,939.02. We've receipted in through the month of November $19,886,784.68. Expenditures through November $20,469,035.05 with an ending balance at the end of November of $5,716,804.62. Again, a lot of the discrepancy there has to do with the $1,300 payment, which we've discussed all along, and again, a lot of growth, which adds some additional expenditures for staffing and to meet those needs. Currently, at the end of November, 93.4% spent, expected spend around 88.4. Again, we've kind of explained the reason why and the additional appropriation that we're putting out here for a resolution tonight as well. Looking at operation fund, beginning balance in the 22 budget year, $4,530,176.97. Revenue through November in operations, $5,402,356.17. Our expenditures, $7,871,797.71, with an ending balance of $2,060,735.43. A couple things to note there. One, property taxes. Our main revenue is our property taxes that come in June. So we have got June. We're about to receipt in December. So you'll see an increase there. And there's also a rainy day transfer that makes up for the difference there. Percent spent, 72.1% through November. Expected 88.4%. Some additional items for finance. Well, everything has been concluded for our 2023 budget. We've checked all our boxes. We're simply waiting for the Department of Local Government Finance to issue our 1782 report with the details of our budget. We'll have 10 days to respond, and then we'll set up our appropriations in our financial management system. And with about 1,000 plus new IDOE codes for payroll. Again, a shout out to Miss Becky Arnold for all her line by line and detail that goes into setting up that requirement. It is a huge requirement and a huge undertaking. Teacher appreciation grant, we have received that. The state sent our $114,582 to us. The requirement is you got 20 days to turn that around, so that will be actually paid out December 16th, this Friday, to our teachers. Again, state also requires a 25% difference between effective and highly effective. So qualifying teachers, depending on their 21-22 rating, we're seeing somewhere around $573 or $716. And there will also be, our counselors will be receiving outside of tag. We're asking for the board to approve that tonight for them as well. The Robo Grant, and again, we got a cool grant that Ms. Granger has secured for our program. This is mainly to work with our special ed population, mainly our autistic population. It's got a social and emotional learning program. Again, this is a grant funded by the state that will go for, that's completely funded for 2 years, and we anticipate it to go longer based on some recent talks. The last thing on the finance side, I just want to thank our buildings, especially our counselors, our liaisons, the many people who put in a lot of hours to ensure that our families have a great Christmas. There's a lot of hard work that goes in from the whole staff in general. There's parents, there's PTO, there's a lot of people that chip in to our extra or additional Christmas kind of programs that goes to supplying gifts to families in need. And I can't thank our buildings and all the additional efforts that goes into that to making it a very special holiday for our families out there that need it. So thank you all for your efforts. Operations, a few updates there. Technology, Jerry and his team, or Mr. Smith and his team, did implement our Incident IQ, which is our ticketing system for human resources facilities and our technology. And we're getting a great response out of that. And you'll hear that in a few more updates as I get to some different departments. The new core switches that were approved, were installed in November. And as Mr. Smith puts it, this has greatly improved our network throughput. So that is important in the technology world. And also some extra surveillance cameras have been installed at both Silver Creek Elementary and Silver Creek Middle School, and more cameras are set to be installed at Silver Creek Elementary, and that's been in conjunction with the principals just to update those cameras and provide more security efforts when it comes to our surveillance. So thank you for Mr. Smith and his team. Transportation, training 2 new bus drivers right now, and if you know how hard it is to secure bus drivers, that is worth celebrating. So I know Ms. Caver is very excited, and so we do plan on getting them trained, have 2 new team members, which is great. And the bus evacuations were completed for the first semester, and those went very smooth. On human resources, open enrollment for medical, dental, vision, and long-term disability was closed on November 30th, and now we're moving into the American Fidelity meetings that are going through December 15th. Refer to an email from Ms. Miller if you need to make an appointment. All benefit eligible employees must meet with their American Fidelity rep to review the policies and sign off. Additional efforts were made this year to front load our staff about the available plans that can benefit them and their families, and to help them make a more informed decision at the time of these meetings. Also, again, HR ticketing system and some workflows will be coming soon, so more to report on that. Facilities, they have already fully implemented that system, and according to Mr. Poole, has seen a big improvement in response time and calls and communications for teachers and facility staff and meeting maintenance needs. And we also want to thank Clark County again for partnering with us for our salt needs that we'll have this year as we deal with inclement weather. Just again, construction, everything's still on time for athletics. We see the timing or on schedule football and track, everything being ready this fall, and the baseball and softball by the spring of 24. We're working with architects and construction personnel to review the high school plans, including value engineering, and craft a successful bid package when we put this back out to bid. We want to continue to be good stewards of our public dollars and are looking to maximize our construction efforts with the funds available. And I will take any questions.
Any questions for Dr. Balmer? Thank you. Beth, do we have any community input? Would anybody like to provide community input? All right. Dr. Briggs, consent agenda?
Yes, under consent agenda, letter A, finances, we have numbers 1 through 4, and under 4, we have letters A and B. Under letter B, grants, we have numbers 1 through 3. Under letter C, donations, we have numbers 1 through 14. Letter D, personnel certified. Under leaves, we have letters A, B, and C. Under classified appointments, we have letters A through C. Under resignations, A and B, and under number 3 position, letter A, and then Roman numeral number 3. Under E, other, we have items 1 through 13, and that is it for the consent agenda.
All right, do we have a motion to bring the consent agenda to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. Bright makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. All right, under Section 9, discussion action items, the first is the reading of the following policies. Policy 1 is 5350, student suicide awareness and prevention, and number 2, 8510, wellness. Did you have just an update to go through the general?
Yeah, just a couple brief comments. Both of these policies are just updating the statutory requirements. And then, as Mr. Sinclair had mentioned, our wellness policy needed to be updated. So yeah, we're nothing out of the ordinary there.
Any questions about the policy? All right, so this is the first reading. There'll be no action taken. Under number B, action items. Number 1, it is the public, the hearing that we had just at 6:30. It's the resolution for additional appropriations. So we have a motion to bring that to the floor.
I so move.
Mr. Grohl makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is this, actually bringing this back up because of the last board meeting, there was some confusion. And to have, I think everybody got an email from Dr. Briggs and Dr. Balmer about the turf upgrades to the baseball and softball field. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor for discussion?
So move.
Mr. Basham makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. All right, discussion. Now, I think it was, I watched the last board meeting. I apologize, I wasn't here, but I think towards the end, we weren't talking about the backstop and all that other stuff. This is specifically for the logo that is to be placed in center field. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Of both the softball and the baseball field.
What was the price tag on that going to be, Todd?
I don't have the packet with me.
Todd's got it.
The center field logo, which is a dragon logo to be your center field. It is 64 feet and 3 inches and 78 feet. Is the kind of the logo here, and the cost of that is $53,924.33.
Is that for baseball field?
That is for the baseball field. Excuse me. The softball field is a little smaller logo due to the size of the field. That's why you see a difference in pricing: 31 feet 4 inches by 38 feet. The price for total price for the logo for the center field, excuse me. I'm sorry. $19,783.50. My apologies there. So but the size is what the difference in the pricing is.
And this additional cost was going to come out of the construction.
This would be outside of the GMP one, which is why it requires a board vote. But yes, it would come out of our bond money, 2021 bond money that we're using to fund construction.
So almost 70,000 on logos.
It'd be over 70, 72, 73.
No, it didn't come
We
to motion.
never voted because it never got a motion to come to the floor.
Yes, at the last meeting, the backstops lettering was approved. This one never came to the floor. So just for clarification.
Correct.
And so just for clarification, if the logos aren't put in, the regular turf is still there, just no logo, correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
And this is something that has to be done at the beginning, that cannot be done in 5 years or 10 years, correct?
Can be done when the turf is replaced.
When,
You know,
that's what
20
I'm saying,
years,
right.
20 years from now,
Exactly what I'm
25
talking
years from now,
about.
whatever. Yeah. Well, I personally, I'm kind of in favor, just for the fact that I've said all along since we started that if we're going to do it, let's do it right. Let's make it look good. I know it's a $73,000 expense, but I also look at baseball and softball. They're not going to have their field for a year and give them a little something that makes their field look good. I mean, other facilities are spending more money on than some others. So if that's what the softball and baseball coaches have come to us with as something they want, I'm okay with it. But that's just, we'll put it to a vote to see. So, any other comments, discussion before we vote?
I mean, I would like to see them have logos, but I just feel like that money could be better spent on other things. That's a lot.
Yeah, and with the allocations coming from from the 2021 bonds, I mean, it's got to be spent within the next year to 2 years anyways. I also feel like if you look back in the past, the softball program hasn't had a legit field for many years. Most everything done has been raised by the parents, teachers, coaches. The booster clubs have been huge. To me, to give them something back for that we can help them with, I'm 100% for it. Let's give them something that we can help them with, and honestly, it's going to build our program. It builds everything from the start. So,
Wouldn't you say them just getting turf though, and updating them in general is a huge difference from
Sure.
what they've had in the past?
Sure, it's a big difference.
no one's denying that. I think there's all programs that need something. I mean, I think our golf needs something. I think our soccer needs something. Track and fields need something. But if we have the allocations to do it, we can do it.
We also look at it too as, all the lettering and logos for the football field were put on there to be included in the bid. This was it was not included. So,
And that was
Probably should have
intentional,
been.
correct?
well, I don't think we necessarily knew about it at the time, or it wasn't brought to our attention from CSO or Skimmon. I don't know who brings that up, that brought it back to Dr. Ballmer to say, hey, are we putting these logos on the field?
But again, just something to think about. If we can't do it for the next 20 years, I mean, break that $75,000 cost over the cost of 20 years. It's very, very minimal. It seems a little more upfront, but over 20 years when we have to go replace, that's when you can replace at that point. if you want
Dr.
to.
Ballmer, can you reappropriate this money if we don't spend it?
Yes, we can
Roll
choose
it or spend it later?
Yes. The answer to that is yes.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. This time, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion fails 3-2, or 2-3, sorry. Next up is action items number 3, request to approve the naming rights and the sponsorship opportunities. Those forms and whatnot were approved were sent in your board packet. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Discussion?
I think I understand all the naming rights and sponsorships. Is it feasible to ask who's going to spearhead this?
Anyone who is, well, all of us, the board, myself, Mr. Dablo, anyone who has conversations with people that are interested. Anyone that is interested needs to reach out to either me or Mr. Dablo, and then we will funnel everything to the board. Nothing will get approved except by the board.
I get that. I think we just need to have a POC, point of contact. I understand if we have somebody that can reach out to us, I think at the same time, we got to have one voice, one single, and who's aware of, hey, we already have this sponsorship at this field and this sponsorship at that field. Here's what's available for you.
Yes.
Here's what you have.
That would be me.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure that
Yep.
we're, there's clarity there because there's, okay.
Right.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, discussion action item number 4, which is the second reading and the approval of the following policy. That's policies 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How about 2 through 17? In your board packet, this is, as I said, is for the approval of. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
So move.
Mr. Basham, excuse me. Mr. Basham makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any discussion on the policies? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next, number 5 is the retirement. It is requested to approve the retirement of Kelly Granger as the Director of Special Education, position control number 60,000, effective on December 31st of 2022. We have a motion to bring that to the floor.
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Bright makes the motion. Seconds the motion, I'm sorry. Any discussion or any comments?
Kelly, you sure you don't want to change your mind?
Yeah, come on up. Come on up, Kelly.
It's been really bittersweet. Sweet because I am so excited. I've had a lot of years of a lot of work, and I'm just really, really excited for this. It is bitter because, it's hard. It's a big change. Each day it gets closer. It's a lot of anxiety and, oh my gosh, but I can do this. And it's bitter because I've developed a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships in this district. And I'm really going to miss those and, that daily contact. When I think about retiring from Silver Creek, I really realize I'm kind of come full circle. I was born and raised here. I attended Silver Creek schools. And throughout my career, you could ask anybody I've worked with. I always said, I want to go back to Silver Creek. I want to be a director in Silver Creek. So it's just really come full circle. I think the position is a difficult position, but the teachers and the administrators that I've gotten to work with make it so much easier. Everyone is so willing to work hard and just do whatever it takes, and they always put kids first. And that's more than 50% of the job. When you've got that, you've got a team and you're making decisions together, and it just makes it so much easier. I'm just really going to miss everyone. I am local. I will be watching Silver Creek grow, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'll be thinking about you guys. With whatever I do, I'm not doing anything for a while. I know that I'm going to get some things done and just enjoy some time off. So thank you for this opportunity.
Well, let us say, or at least let me say thank you. Before we became a board, I think one of the things we wanted to envision was having this program here. And for you to take that on, to do that, implement it, and grow it, can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
There's not enough words that we can really say, but thank you. So thank you.
Well, it's it's my name may be on it, but they're these guys over
No,
here.
it takes a
and they-
village. I agree, but
It-
I appreciate you. So thank you.
Thank you.
We realized it was a huge undertaking, during the split, and not just that, but all your work throughout all the years. It's very much appreciated. And we've seen your hard work, and I hope you'll embrace this time, even though it is hard to step away. Not that we want you to go, because we don't, but you deserve it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Very happy for you. And thank you for everything you've done. As I think Scott said, when we became our own school district, we knew we had a year of a interlocal agreement, but our mission from day one was to bring it here, and we couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Kelly, I just want to tell you thank you. I'm blessed to consider you a friend, and you've just been such a big part of my life. And so the best way I can think to describe you is you've just been such an advocate and a champion for a population of students and people that really just need that. And so I see that in your heart, and that's just been an amazing thing to see. Not only have you brought that to our district, but you've helped us all grow in the knowledge of knowing what those students need. And I hope you always consider Silver Creek home. And, we're always going to be right here. So if you get bored or something, come back and see us.
I want you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 6 was the move of Board Policy 0167.3, public participation in board meetings. We moved this off the agenda. Rachel, you had sent an email. I saw it like right before I walked in the door.
And I apologize for sending
So-
that last minute.
If we can, just get a motion to bring it to the floor for discussion.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. We have a second.
A second.
Mr. Basham seconds. All right, discussion. Rachel, do you want to go?
Yeah, so when we updated this policy back in January, we had added some language in there, and I apologize, I'm trying to pull it up here on my screen. It's pretty tiny. But in the updates, the language that we had put in back in January was not included, which included that we would allow for public comment at regular meetings, special meetings, and emergency meetings. And I think we had lengthy conversation on that back in January and approved it. And I think that still applies, that we need to allow for public comment at those 3 types of meetings.
Yep. So my question would be, right now it states that the board would allow oral public comment at every regular in-person meeting. What if we took out regular and just said at every in-person meeting?
I think that was the change we made before. I'm reading through it right now, more in detail.
Well, when I got it off of the board docs, it was explicit in stating regular, special, and emergency. But I'm fine with us changing it to in person and taking the regular off.
How about we just add a comma and then add special, comma,
That would be
emergency,
the other option. Yep.
so we keep it consistent?
Yep. Special, emergency. So we would have regular, special, and emergency.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I will make that change, and probably the next meeting I'll just
Yeah, we'll
verbally
approve it.
I'll put it in the packet to show that it's been.
So we'll table
Formally
this for
changed.
now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
We're going to table 6, moving public participation board meeting 0167.3 to our next meeting. All right, this time, Dr. Briggs, you have some special recognition.
Yes, back to the beginning of the agenda, recognition of groups. I want to turn it over to Mr. Troutman, Assistant Principal at Silver Creek Middle School. We have, looks like a special group of young people here this evening.
Grade girls volleyball team. I'm gonna have them come up, line up kind of over here to the side of the board. They wanted to introduce themselves, and then Coach Cunliffe will talk about some of their accomplishments.
Coach, if you wouldn't mind going to the podium.
I'll get to the podium. All right. Go ahead, girls, introduce yourself.
Okay, great. Usually they're louder than that, but they're a little scared tonight. First of all, thank you guys for this opportunity. We appreciate you guys recognize these guys because they truly are a special class. Class of 2027 right there. Just a little bit about what they accomplished. We'll start off overall record, 5th grade through the 6th grade, or 8th grade, 82-1. We lost one game, and unfortunately that was in the state finals this year. So great, unbelievable record. Unmatched by any other team that I've ever been a part of. 7th, 8th grade round robin champs, won every single year that we had it. 6th, 7th, 8th grade Mid-Southern Conference champs every season. 5th, 7th, 8th, Clark Floyd champs only because of COVID. We didn't have the 6th grade one, I believe. 7th grade middle school state champions. I don't think they dropped a set, did you guys? That one, right? And then this year we were runner-up in the 8th grade state championship. So great accomplishment. Thank you for this opportunity. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Billy. This time, let's do a building administrator report. Ms. Campbell, do you want to start?
Ladies, while you're leaving, thank you so much.
Thank you.
They don't care.
Get out of here for an hour.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, good evening. 82-1. That's amazing. I'm excited to see what they do in high school. And Kelly, on behalf of Silver Creek Primary, we just want to wish you the best. We will miss you. I don't think you'll miss us as much, but we do wish you the best. I just want to start this evening by congratulating Amanda Byerly. She's a first grade teacher at Silver Creek Primary. She welcomed her new baby girl, Brooklyn Eleanor, to the world. So we're so happy to add Brooklyn to our SCP family. So congratulations, Mrs. Byerly. Also want to celebrate our Silver Creek Primary Letter R for Respect winners. These students were chosen by their teacher to exemplify respect all day in their classroom, which is a big deal for our kindergarten and first graders. So congratulations to Audrey Pruitt, Elizabeth Reynolds, Spencer Melton, Liam Lang, Charlie Davis, Kylie Glover, Paisley Wilburn, Brooklyn Clayton, Catherine Myers, Gabriel Al-Asabahi, Arian Muir, Abel Price, Annabelle Rowdenbush, Naomi Johnson, Kingston Gilkey, Annie Lawrence, Ace Smith, Grant Ethington, Parks Love, Scarlett Diaz, and Paxton Owen. So congratulations to those friends. Super proud of you. Just another huge thank you to our SCP family members and community. We were able to raise over $4,000 for our Christmas program. We called our Santa's Helpers program. We served 30 SCP families and 70 individuals in total. So we cannot thank everyone enough for their generosity, and a huge thank you to Lacey Niehaus for being our point person and go-to for that. Really touched a lot of families, and I know the other buildings have as well. Beyond that, I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I know that us at the primary are awaiting that break. Our little friends are really excited for Santa. So we are as well, but we will be enjoying this break. So any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Myers?
Good evening. Kelly, I want to echo what Abby also said. We're going to miss you. You've been a great asset to Silver Creek Elementary and our special ed department across Silver Creek. So congratulations on your retirement. I'm a little bit envious, but we're certainly going to miss you. Enjoy your time. So we would like to recognize our Pride Students of the Month for dependability. We recognize these students actually in November. We just did efficiency, but I'll do that in January so we get back on track since December's a little bit short of a month. But for our dependability students, we want to recognize Remington Striegel, Noah Bechtel, Jordan Hargett, Presley Rose, Sierra Cullen, Dalen Justice, Keaton Williams, Riara Khan, Presley Stalker, Maddie Lampkin, Kinley Mobley, Monroe Kemp, Logan Eager, Bryce Boyer, Zoe Bannett, Bryson Kendall, Caroline Selfridge, Lucas Whitlock, Caitlin Jacobs, Lillian Bailey, Molly Tolliver, Ella Walker, Henry Gardner, Curtis Short, Tinsley Drake, Bryston Schmeltz, Cameron Flanagan, Caroline Linton, Brody Dold, Khaleesi Lewis, Kiera Eds, Lily Mitchell, Avery Wheatley, Mia Sturgeon, Lainey Whalen, Ben McLean, Cheyenne Swartz, and Owen Daniel. So we want to just recognize those students for their dependability and their work through our Pride program so far this school year. Also, we also have a Santa's Helpers program at Silver Creek Elementary. We partner with families at Silver Creek as well as, the local police departments from Sellersburg Police Department and with Clark County Police Department, their Shop with a Cop. We were able to serve over 115 children, Silver Creek children, with gifts this year for under their Christmas tree. 79 of these children were provided direct support from our Silver Creek Elementary families. This wouldn't have been possible without the generous donations that we've received from our families. We had over 98 families that stepped up and donated and helped support the families in need this year. So we want to just give those families a big shout out and appreciate their help with that. And then finally, my student council tonight, some of our about 20 students went to the Sellersburg Healthcare Center tonight to carol with Mrs. Fisher and Mrs. Good. So we want to just thank them, our carolers, for spreading some Christmas joy tonight. So, all right. Thank you, guys.
Any questions for Ms. Myers?
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Troutman?
So I wanted to also thank Kelly for all of her work. I haven't been here long, but all of our interactions have been terrific, and our outcomes have been wonderful. So just wanted to say thank you. Wanted to recognize our music and band departments, Mr. Smith, Ms. Caldwell, and Ms. Jocham, and all of our students for their performance of the Madrigal last week. All of that hard work really showed in those terrific performances. I wanted to say thank you to our middle school PTO for all of their work. They provided a wonderful lunch this morning for our staff and do terrific work for our students. So I wanted to give them a thank. And then our nurses, Amy Cunningham, and our Director of Health Services, Mrs. Drain. Our student population has been hit hard with flu, strep, COVID, everything. And they have done a terrific job of servicing those kids when they show up sick, have to go home, contacting their parents, and keeping us aware of our numbers and what things that we need to do. So wanted to say thank you to them. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Troutman?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Eckert?
Good evening. I would also like to say a few things about Kelly. You know, Kelly and I were classmates. Remember that? Way back when. And you may not know, but Kelly Granger's an athletic pioneer here at Silver Creek. She was on the first girls cross country team. You surprised I remember that?
The guys will take off. They get around the corner, we lay out.
Yeah. You know, winning was not really part of it. I'm not sure if we ever won any meets, but we had a lot of fun, didn't we? A lot of fun. So Kelly and I go back a long way, and she was a year older than me, and she was good friends with my cousin that was in her class, and he was pretty crazy. And but we've had some times together, and of course I coached her kids, Olivia and Caroline. I never can remember Olivia and Caroline when they ran cross country. Coming up through, I think they were elementary cross country runners, if I remember right, back when I was doing that. So, you know, having a high school and starting a severe needs program at the high school, you know, I had a lot to learn because I'd never been a part of anything like that. And, you know, I would say having a severe needs program at Silver Creek High School has been one of the most heartwarming things I've ever been part of. So I appreciate all the help you've given us with that. And, you know, it's always been good to collaborate with you, and I've always appreciated your advice and help. But the severe needs and you know, not only finding staff to do those things, but designing those rooms and buying the furniture and everything that we needed for those classes. You know, it was interesting and fun, and I appreciate all your help with that because that is a very rewarding thing. It's very good for all our students to have those kids around and for our kids to work with them. So it's really been rewarding. So thank you for that, and I hope you get a lot of rest and fun and all that stuff too. So congratulations. We are celebrating our midterm graduates. We have 14 students that are graduating at midterm, which I believe that's the most we've had for a while, or since I've been there anyway. But I would like to say their names: Bryce Wendell, Kylie Wren, Jalen Stacy, Morgan Guthrie, Macy Layton, Antonia Martinez, Ethan Mayman, Zachary Blanton, Isaiah Bohannon, Maria Flores, Sabri Arnold, AJ Baskett, Tinley Flanagan, and Kaylee Foster. Tinley and Kaylee received technical honors diploma as well. So quite a number of them. We're having a thing during Flex on Friday for them. We're going to have a little celebration where all the seniors come in to the gym, and we have some snacks and things and kind of honor them for their achievements there. I also like to say something about some of the work the faculty's been doing to help those less fortunate. I think you may have been talking about that when I stepped out for a second, Dr. Balmer, but hopefully I'm not repeating what you said. But the faculty provided Christmas gifts for 28 Silver Creek students. The faculty brought the gifts, and they were wrapped in the library after school. Also, we were able to get 60 hams that were added to Christmas dinner boxes that will be distributed this Thursday after school. We also had 46 students who chose Christmas gifts for all members of their families, and they wrapped them last Thursday. There were over 400 gifts chosen, and it was free for the students, and they were free because they were made possible by donations from our faculty and staff and community. I'd like to thank Miss Albran and Miss Kramer. They kind of spearheaded those different things, and really the rest of our faculty and staff it's a busy time of year with finals and getting final grades done, plus all the family things we've got going on with Christmas. So to take the time to do that, I think speaks a lot about our faculty and students. I also like to remind you all of our January 25th SC Showcase. We've had our counselors and our teachers in our Career Academy have been working hard to organize this. And it's going to be from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the main gym. There's going to be 10 different stations that parents and students will rotate through. 3 of those stations are counseling stations where we'll talk about dual credit, we'll talk about CTE programs, we'll talk about kind of organization, the importance of earning your credits. We'll talk about dual credit and scholarship opportunities and testing, and just kind of a general idea of what they will be tasked with when they come to high school. So kind of get them ready for that. But we'll have our communications area, our business and finance and educational professions will be a station, culinary arts, Project Lead the Way Engineering, Project Lead the Way Computer Science, and biomedical professions will be a station, fine arts, and then performing arts. So we'll have stations for all those different, I think it's 7 or 8 minutes where each teacher will talk about their program. So we're really looking forward to that. And again, the teachers have worked very hard to get that organized. That's all I got.
Any questions for Dr. Eckert?
Thank you.
And thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Cahafer, do you have anything? I'm saving her for last.
Right. I just want to say thank you and congrats to Kelly. I've worked hand in hand with her before and after split. It's been a joy. I hate to see her go, but envious as well, just like Sandy said. Would love to be there. But wish you well and hope you do great things and catch up on the time that you've said that you've needed. So also just want to say thank you to the transportation team for all their professionalism and diligence and transporting our students to and from school every day. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Drain, do you have anything? I told you I was saving you for last. You might as well not get up.
I just wanted to thank Focus Eye Care Center here in Sellersburg. They graciously, the doctors and staff there, did our vision screenings for all of our 3rd, 5th, and 8th graders. And when you are as large as us, that is a very large undertaking. And I greatly appreciate that. I do just want to let the parents know all the results have been entered into Infinite Campus, and all those needing further evaluation have been sent home with their results. So if you have any questions, let your school nurse know. I also want to thank the Clark County Health Department for holding a school shot clinic at the high school. This was made available to all of our students, anyone who needed immunizations. While the health department says we were their first clinic and they're making some changes to improve the process and flow, we do greatly appreciate them partnering with us to provide this service for our students. We were able to give 28 students shots, 68 different vaccines. So we appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now it's time. You want your friend with you?
Okay. So you all have approved Milo tonight, so I thought I'd tell you a little more about him. Milo is designed to work with students who have autism. He comes with a social emotional learning curriculum, so he'll also benefit kids who just really have those kind of needs, like our kids who have social emotional needs, so not just autism. But he was designed to work with students who have autism. He moves his legs, he moves his arms, he turns his head. He has a full range of facial expressions. He'll use 2 iPads, one for a facilitator who will work with him. It has to be an adult. And then the student can interact with him through an iPad as well. It collects data. You can program the student-specific goals into Milo. It reinforces the target behaviors, and it'll collect data on how the students are doing with those goals. Research-based, a lot of great responses and results from people who have used Milo. So it's real exciting. Heather is, I'm assuming, is probably going to spearhead this from here on out, and she's got a training set up, the first training for January 4th for the adults who are going to be using Milo. So
awesome.
Thank you for that approval. I'm just so excited to see what he does.
No, us too.
It's great.
Well,
Any questions about
appreciate
Milo?
you- We appreciate you reaching out to get the grant and to get Milo and all the work that went into that.
Milo wants his mommy. Before I break him.
I think Chrissy needs one of those.
That's a very expensive break.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Briggs, any comments?
Yes. So Kelly, yeah, I'll echo the thoughts of everyone else. Congratulations on your retirement. Thank you for all you've done for us. I've enjoyed our brief time together. I didn't know when we relocated your office to my office that was going to drive you out, but no, just kidding.
You didn't have to.
You did. But no, Kelly, thank you for everything. You've been a great leader, and you'll definitely be missed, and look forward to keeping in touch. Also, congratulations to the class of 2027 and the volleyball team. Pretty impressive record. Thank you to Ms. Drain and her team. As Dr. Eckert alluded to, I know it's a very busy time right now, but also not only just trying to keep kids not in school who aren't healthy, but also for everything else that your team has been doing. So thank you. And then I was reminded that the last time the board met, we recognized Mrs. Glazier and her program at the high school, but also she was up for the Professional of the Year, and I'm pleased to announce that she did receive the Professional of the Year from One Southern Indiana. So great recognition for a great teacher. And then just wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Dr. Ballmer?
Extremely thankful every day to be a dragon while our school corporations still have some big mountains to climb, especially when it comes to facilities. I'm just so thankful to be a part of this and to work with professionals every day that are so committed to what they do, but just make it a fun place to work too, make it enjoyable and match that passion. So I'm so appreciative of the people I get to work with each and every day. I want to recognize Miss Spencer, one of our kindergarten teachers. She invited me to read one of my favorite Christmas books, Moosel Toe, and then they sent me a picture of the moose. All the kids drew pictures of the moose that I read the story to them. So it was just a very rewarding experience, kind of a steps outside of say 19 million, 18, 13 million or so, looking at spreadsheets all day long. So, but thank you for those drawings. They're awesome and made my day. So thank you to Ms. Spencer. Kelly, I've had the opportunity to work with you as a principal and on the other side of the central office. It would be hard pressed to find anybody with your dedication and passion for what you do. I think as we end a career in education, I know you'll go on to continue to impact people in a positive way, but I couldn't even begin to think about how many kids you have impacted positively, both directly and indirectly, by how you've grown our educators. So again, thank you for all you've done for me, but know that as you retire, you've made a huge impact, not only at Silver Creek, but I'm very confident in your entire career with what you did in education. So thank you. And then I just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and stay safe out there.
All right. Mr. Basham.
I'd also like to thank Kelly. You're going to find out that retirement's not what you think it is. You're going to wonder how did you manage your time before, because you'll stay very busy. You know you're always welcome to come back to the campus. As far as all the building administrators, like thank you for the great fall we've had. I know the staff, teachers and all, with Christmas break, it will give us a chance to recharge to get ready for the second semester, and wish everybody safe holidays.
Ms. Franklin?
The only thing I have to add is I am really excited. I know it was on the consent agenda, so sometimes those things get looked over, but in 24, we're going to be offering a new class, radio and television. The man over there behind the camera, Alex Smith, is a huge part of that, getting that set up. I know Dr. Briggs has also worked on that, but as we grow with our construction, our curriculum is going to start matching that kind of growth because we are adding classes in that our buildings are going to be able to facilitate. So that is very exciting. We'll probably have our own radio station and TV programming and new opportunities for our students to learn. So that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. And I think that's all I have for tonight.
Ms. Bright?
Yeah, I'll just keep it quick. I appreciate our staff, students, administrators, and everyone at Transportation Central Office, the big umbrella. I know you've been working hard this past semester, and I hope you really enjoy this much needed break that's coming up, and that our parents enjoy this time with their children at home.
Mr. Grove?
Just say what everybody else already said. So thank you to all of our administrators or staff. Kelly, I already told you earlier how I felt. Thank you again. Families, thank you. Have a safe, happy holiday and New Year's.
All right. Kelly, we'll miss you. I think the one thing that you've always brought that I've seen personally is always looking out for the ones that oftentimes get left out. And that's a big thing in our corporation. So I appreciate that. Also just want to recognize our community and our school corporation. You know, basically rough math tells me we helped out over 300 families with Christmas this year. While we don't have exact numbers, that's huge. And that kind of goes to show the school corporation that we have here, that it's much bigger than the facilities and everything. So everybody enjoy your Christmas. It's going to be a long break, and refresh, recharge, and get ready for the second half. All right. With that being said, Ms. Bright, would you like to motion us to adjourn? Oh, no, I'm sorry. One more thing. Sorry, I got excited for a second.
I'm ready.
Because we're so close together. Our next meeting date is January 10th, 2023. And that will be at the Silver Creek Elementary School GPR at 6:30. All right.
I so move.
All right. Ms. Bright makes a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Mr. Basham seconds. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Your turn.